Y'all see the woman speed up. Y'all see her. CaitlinClark is getting the crowd and going. Y'all see Skylar Diggins speed up to make contact with her. Stop this.
During the game between the Indiana Fever and Seattle Storm on Sunday, tensions flared between the two coaches as the match was winding down. Fever's coach, Christy Sides, and Storm's coach, Noel Quinn, exchanged heated comments on the sidelines, likely due to Indiana not substituting its starters after Seattle had already done so, as the game slipped away from the Storm. In the midst of this, Fever rookie guard CaitlinClark seemed to chime in, as the Jumbotron at Gainbridge Fieldhouse captured her appearing to tell the Storm players to stop crying while they were engaged in the intense discussion between Sides and Quinn. The Indiana Fever's recent win over the Seattle Storm has stirred quite a buzz. Before this game, nearly all the betting odds favored Seattle, who had previously beaten the Fever in their last two encounters and were seen as a playoff contender. However, the game's conclusion brought some unexpected drama. There's been a lot of chatter, especially after new footage emerged that puts Seattle's coach, Noel Quinn, in a negative light. The lack of sportsmanship displayed by Quinn after the loss raises questions about professionalism in the league. As highlighted by Outkick in their posts on X, it's no surprise that this league struggles with viewership. The expected professionalism from coaches and players seems lacking, and CaitlinClark's impact on the league continues to be a hot topic. I came across this video and found it really intriguing. When CaitlinClark was making her way back to her team, she got hit with a pretty hard shove from one of the Seattle Storm players. Just watch, she takes a solid hit right there.
Y'all mad cause that corn-fed Iowa girl busting y'all ass. Y'all said she too weak. She can't do this. She lead the WNBA in assists. She cooking. Let her cook. Let her cook.
And Noel Quinn was going crazy, thinking that Christy Sides should have pulled the starters earlier, or what they call emptying the bench. But I thought, this is professional basketball. There's no rule that says that has to happen. It's just one of those annoying unwritten rules that pop up in sports. So here's the coach getting right up in Christy Sides' face, and honestly, there's no reason for that. It shows a real lack of sportsmanship, and then she just walks away. It honestly makes the Seattle Storm's coach look really petty and awful. Coaches often reflect the poor behavior of their players, especially when it comes to someone like CaitlinClark. They just don't seem ready for the level of success this league has achieved. Here's another clip from the end of the game. Yeah, they really got blown out. They definitely weren't supposed to get blown out like that. Come on, it's time to mature and manage your emotions better. There's a player over there talking trash, and what are we doing in response? It's just hard to believe. So that's a glimpse of what transpired. Now there's another video that just surfaced, so let's take a look at it. CaitlinClark was right there. They really got her riled up. She was on the sideline and she was letting it be known. Honestly, they need to get their feelings under control. Seattle can't seem to handle this team, her fame, and her achievements. CaitlinClark isn't backing down from anyone, and I found this video that's been circulating of Noel Quinn calling herself a gangster from LA. Seriously, is this what the league has come to? Take a look. Alright, when I mention the word gangster, I don't mean it in a bad way, it's just how I think. Is it really a bad thing to refer to yourself like that? These were her thoughts after the game during the press conference. Check this out. CaitlinClark has truly made waves in this league, and it's been incredible to witness. However, I'm struck by the unprofessional reactions from some players and coaches. We've got seasoned coaches like Noel Quinn, Cheryl Reeve, and Becky Hammond, who has multiple championships under her belt. Yet they seem to be acting out of pettiness and envy when a rookie from Iowa steps in. It's clear that this situation has stirred up quite a bit of discussion. It seems like frustrations are boiling over for you and your team, coach. And let's not forget about sportsmanship. It's pretty shocking that she took issue with Clark encouraging the crowd to cheer at the game's end. Seriously? Clark just set the WNBA rookie assist record for the season and broke the Indiana Fever record for most three-pointers in a single game, putting up stats like 29 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds. And this was a problem for the Seattle coach. Honestly, it's a bit pathetic. This whole thing is just wild. Look, they're playing in Indiana, on their home turf. It's not like she was standing on the Cowboys star. Remember Terrell Owens? Keep it going, Cece. You just took down one of the top teams in the WNBA, and they can't seem to handle it. It's wild, and honestly a bit crazy. Clearly, CaitlinClark is doing something right. And let's talk about sportsmanship from the Storm. I bet there have been moments when they didn't pull their players right away after a big win. They're just upset. Remember the quote, "Why are you so worried about me, the GOAT?" It's ridiculous. I don't recall them easing up on us when they were dominating earlier in the season. Coach Quinn is being a sore loser, for real. To be honest, I also have an issue with Christy Sides for enabling this kind of behavior from Noel Quinn. She should have told Quinn to back off and go to her side of the court. That's what I would have done. Seriously, show some passion and defend your team instead of just giving in. Caitlin is quickly becoming an all WNBA caliber point guard, and despite their rough start, the Fever are now the team that no one wants to face in the playoffs. All thanks to Rookie of the Year CaitlinClark. It's disappointing to see such poor sportsmanship from Seattle. Alright, let's break this down. The Seattle coach was out of line, no doubt about it. Dude was straight up ignorant and loud about it too. A lot of people are saying this is a race issue, and I gotta agree. Noel Quinn didn't like seeing the white girl beat the brakes off them, and that's exactly what happened. I reckon there's a lot of that going on in this league. It's crazy how fast things changed from she's overrated to have mercy. That's good. That's good. CaitlinClark has straight up broken basketball fans' brains. I'm watching the WNBA on Sunday, and I'm like, how did we get here? They hate that their GOAT is straight and white. I mean, I don't get it. They're pissed off at the attention, but it just landed them this huge TV media rights deal. They're still trying this even this morning. Angel Reese had a pretty decent game yesterday, I'll give her that. But let's be real, there was still some stat padding going on with the rebounds and all that. But still, oh well, that Rookie of the Year performance by Angel? Are you kidding me? This league is wild, and their inability to be professional is just as wild. The commentary team suggested that the tension arose because Sides kept her starters in the game, even after the outcome was clear. With Indiana leading comfortably for most of the fourth quarter, it seemed Quinn took issue with Sides' decision to maintain her starting lineup while Seattle had already substituted in their bench players. After the game, Sides and Quinn exchanged handshakes, indicating the matter was resolved. In her post-game press conference, Quinn addressed the incident, expressing her respect for Sides and clarifying that their conversation was about sportsmanship. I have a lot of respect for Christy. Quinn stated, "I've been in this league for quite some time. We were just engaged in a lively discussion about gamesmanship. That's all there was to it." Although Sides hasn't publicly commented on the matter, it appears there was merely a misunderstanding, as she was seen apologizing to the Storm's coaching staff post-game. Beyond the heated moment towards the end, Sunday was a remarkable day for the Fever. Rookie CaitlinClark shone with 23 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell also had a standout performance, leading the team with 27 points, while Lexi Hull contributed significantly with 22 points, including an impressive 6 of 7 from beyond the arc.
I don't really get to stand up for myself. I have great teammates. I have a great support system. I got my hometown. I got my family that stands up for me. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much, I've seen so much, I've been attacked so many times.
The Sky faced another tough loss, and it feels like they're really struggling. Honestly, it's starting to feel like the Sky are just giving up. I've never seen a team give up as obviously as the Sparks are right now.
Death threats, I've been sexualized, I've been threatened, I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and not be there for them. So
they've completely checked out, and Derek Ami has looked totally uninterested for the last several games. She even seemed disengaged during the All-Star game. Looking at the standings after today's loss, the Sky are now 11-16. They're only a game and a half ahead of the Atlanta Dream, who are on a 2-game winning streak and are really trying to turn things around. I'm not going to say the Sky will definitely miss the playoffs, but it's definitely a possibility. As for the Mercury, Kat Copper took a break and had a rough shooting night, going just 2 of 11 from the field. She didn't keep firing away, which was a bit surprising. On the other hand, Brittany Griner did her usual thing, and Diana Taurasi shot well too, even though it felt like she could have been even better than her 2 of 8 performance. Billings had a solid debut with 13 points, and Sue Sutton played well. Overall, the Mercury had a decent showing. Honestly, they could have won this game by a huge margin, but there were moments when the Sky made it interesting.
I'm gonna go out and do whatever it takes to win, and every single night my teammates rely on my energy. So being able to continue the energy, even if we're down, even if we're up, that's what I do.
The Sky managed to cut it down to 7 at one point, but then the Mercury bounced back to a 22-point lead, then down to 12, and back to 20 again before the final buzzer. The game was one of those nights when the Mercury just couldn't find their rhythm. Each time the score tightened, they'd say, "Let's concentrate," and then they'd start scoring again. On the Sky side, Kennedy Carter looked fit, but had a hard time getting into the flow. Their biggest challenge? 3-point shooting. Just look at the stats. 0 for 14 from beyond the arc. This team has a track record of struggling with three-pointers. It's as if the three-point line doesn't even exist for them. How is it possible for a team to play an entire game without sinking a single three-pointer? Rachel Banham faced another rough game, and while Carter has been decent offensively, especially in the paint, Cardoso is beginning to show some promise. She went 6 for 7 from the field, but her rebounding definitely needs work. Angel Reese is a different story, plus minus stats don't tell the whole tale. Sure, she made a key shot late against the Aces, but overall she had a tough outing. In the fourth quarter, there was a stretch where she was hitting jumpers consistently. She collected 10 offensive rebounds, and regardless of who holds the record, be it Sylvia Fowles or Tina Charles, Angel is on track to break it. With about 35 minutes of play each game, she's bound to grab 6 or 7 defensive boards just by being in the right place.
A study by a sports market research firm found that the sport with the highest percentage of its fans influenced by sponsorships is the WNBA. That number is more than 81%. The study by SBRnet also found that among major sports, the WNBA has the highest percentage of social media users among its fans, and that social media is where they go to connect with leagues, teams, and players. All of it underscores the tremendous growth potential for the WNBA, and why a player like Angel Reese is perfect for this moment.
I believe she could average around 14 rebounds a game, which might even be a conservative estimate.
Yeah, work to do. I mean, that's with any team when you start out your season. And you just want to see how well you can come together, gel together, and find that chemistry. And we're getting there. We're getting better with understanding what our offense is, what our defense is, what the identities are.
Angel Reese's consistency has been a big part of the team's identity. The star rookie and recently named All-Star recorded her 13th straight double-double against the Storm, breaking the previous record set by hometown legend Candace Parker for most consecutive double-doubles in league history.
The Sky find themselves in a tricky position. They have the league's top offensive rebounder surrounded by players who struggle to score. It's tough to watch. Kennedy Carter is skilled, but it's unrealistic to expect her to shine when the roster is filled with players who can't put points on the board.
I see you put your arm around Kennedy Carter late in the game. I see that leadership. You've done it for years. What is the message you're telling her? Because she was terrific today.
Hey, me and Kennedy, we have a different kind of relationship. We've been through a lot of the same things. A lot of people have misconceptions about us. We understand each other, and that's why I love her. She can get to me, I can get to her. She a dog, too. She came out and did so much for us tonight. This is a team effort, and I'm just so happy for this team.
They swapped out Marina Mabry, their best shooter and passer, for someone who can shoot a bit but doesn't pass like Mabry did. If the Sky aim to hit 70 points, it's clear that Kennedy needs to score 30, or Angel has to start making jumpers. For fans of the Sky, the silver lining is that while this season may be challenging, sometimes going through tough times can lead to future growth. If the team isn't performing well, it gives Angel more space to experiment and develop, even if it means having some off nights. Angel should be fine with having a rough game occasionally if it leads to a breakout performance later. If she can shoot around 50% from the field and get her jump shot going, she'll be in a good spot.
Full circle moment. I mean, the next thing for me is just to win and bring another banner here, and that's what's important to me. So if I want to continue to be named with her, I want to also be a winner as well.
I still see Angel Reese as an all-star and one of the top 20 to 25 players in the league. The Sky's struggles and the Rookie of the Year race seeming settled might actually benefit Angel in the long run. She'll have more freedom to try new things and take risks without the pressure of the Rookie of the Year race hanging over her. Competing against someone like Aaliyah Boston makes it hard to play without the fear of failure, but now she can have an off night and still focus on finding her rhythm.
Now at FS1 had this to say about Angel Reese this week. Quote, Angel Reese, you can't be the big bad wolf and then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. And Angel Reese, you're self-proclaimed to be the villain. I think that's a bit excessive. Like Emmanuel Acho. Got mad respect for him, but we don't have to always agree.
I really liked how she played toward the end of this game, and right now she's undoubtedly the best offensive rebounder in basketball.
I think that when you take into account the fact that this is a young lady, yes, she did wear the villain role on her sleeve, no doubt about that. She didn't do a lot to help herself when she was winning the NCAA championship.